Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe, and we're continuing going through our Guilds of Ravnica Allegiance block, so only those two set decks. This is from some of the subreddit comments. They were looking for decks that feature more of the newer cards, something easy to build as you start your collection. You're less likely to have some of the sets from Ixalan and that were available more during the closed beta stage. So this is just an easier to build kind of starting point, and then these decks can be transitioned into other decks afterwards. So we've done a few in the series. We've done a Boros, an Orzhov, and a Rakdos deck. So today we're playing Izzet. So this is Izzet Mystic. So this one's more of a spell slinger style deck. You're playing kind of tempo and playing around. So the deck itself, we have Pateramander, which is a 1 mana spell that gets cheaper to adapt for, so it can become a 5/5 flyer, and it gets cheaper for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. We have Electrostatic Field, which is a good blocker and can deal 1 damage whenever we uh, play an instant or sorcery. We have Quench, which is a 2 mana spell, can counter unless they pay 2. Radical Idea is just a card draw. Lava Coil is 4 damage to creatures. We have Light Up the Stage to get us more cards in hand. Risk Factor, another way to get more cards into hand or to deal damage. Beacon Bolt as more removal. Ionize as some more counter magic that also deals 2 damage. And then Murmuring Mystic, which is like a young pyromancer that makes flying birds. So the only caveat we've had with these decks is the mana base, where we're allowing us to play the buddy lands. I always stress the importance of having proper mana bases first. You want to ensure that you hit your 1 drop into your 2 drop into your 3 drop in this deck without lands coming into play tapped. The exception would be obviously the Guildgate deck. So we'll take it for a spin. I've been building these as best of ones right now, just to play in the normal match. If you want to see sideboards, just mention in the comments and I can make some recommendations. Like something very simple right off the bat that would make this deck a lot better is by playing Opt. It's uncommon, so it's not that hard to redeem. So as we get started, if you're enjoying the content so far and looking for a way to support the channel that costs you absolutely nothing, I just ask if you can hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to build out the channel, and the best way to do so and to know that there is the support is for you to hit that button. So we'll get started. We'll play a couple of games with this deck and see how we go. So this hand here, we'll try it out. We'd like a Pateramander on one. So here I'm actually going to flaunt the Shock. Another card in this deck that'd be good would be Shock. So we've drawn every 3 mana spell in our deck. So if they have something like a Search for Iskanta here, we could quench it. It's Orzhov, probably signifies to me. So they have Discovery. I think we let the Discovery go. Revival. Oh, this might be one of the hero decks. So here we'll just pass the turn. We can dig for a land, but I'd rather hold up the counter in case they play hero. Or something like that. Thief of Sanity is quite bad. So here, because we don't have the land, we'll draw. So this is where you see, like, having the Pateramander on 1, you can pressure your opponent while still holding up interaction. We do have 12 damage in hand effectively. So here, we're just going to go ahead and Beacon Bolt. This card will gain too much value. Always respect a thief. Don't let it go unchecked. They play Teferi, so this is Esper Hero. I haven't seen them play the Revival before, but it's actually a pretty solid card in the deck. Between Tithe Taker and some of the other cards. So here we're just going to Risk Factor on their end step. just start running them out. We do need to be mindful that it's a fairy, and this is where something like Shock or Lightning Strike would be good. We'll counter the Bell Hunt. It gains some life, makes us discard. So another land here is good. We can Risk Factor and Radical Idea. I think we are too far behind though. So they have the Kaya. So another land here is good. Pass turn. So now we can play 2 Risk Factors. Just keep jamming Risk Factors. They are at 8, so they can start exiling. Curious as to what they have. These decks usually don't play too many counter spells. Unless this is just an Esper control deck. That was playing Thief main. Let's play the Revival. So here we'll play another Risk Factor. So they absorb. So we'll just play out another Risk Factor out of the graveyard. So they let us draw. And we'll pass turn. 1, 2, so we have 6, 7. So this is Esper control. So here we'll play out a field. Play out a field. So they mortify here. Sure. I'm just going to do this now, I think. So they either take 5 or let us draw the cards. They're going to exile it to Teferi anyways. Okay. So they'll likely exile the field. Oh, so they're going after our blue sources. Oh, they have the hostage taker. They play the fields. So here we're going to hold off. So play the Risk Factor. Get rid of the Radical Idea. So we're doing this to see if they turn on Spectacle. Okay. So we'll Radical Idea again. A Risk Factor. So we're seeing a lot of cards. but unfortunately, here we will discard the steam vents. So next turn we can field. Play out the electrostatic field. So there is a play to play Murmuring Mystic. No, not this turn at least. So we'll play Light Up the Stage. That's fine. We can quench it. But I think just playing Light Up the Stage to keep drawing cards would be good. We still get the damage in. So we have... This is quite the hand we're working with. So we'll Light Up the Stage. All right, so something's our graveyard. They don't make it easy. Here they'll likely take, yeah, the Murmuring Mystic. So here we'll play the land. We'll Lava Coil the Hostage Taker. We'll Radical Idea. Discard the mountain. And just pass the turn. So we'll float the mana here. Okay, so here, play out the Murmuring Mystic. Gets absorbed. We'll quench it. Yeah, I think we're not gonna... They have enough now at gaining the life back that they'll just be able to hold through and eventually exile. We don't have enough direct burn spells. You got to see how the deck does draw a ton of cards, though, so we'll give it a shot. Once the Teferi emblem gets out, it's hard for us to keep up. If we still had a lot of that mana left, then we would have been in a better position. If you can hear that in the background, my dog says hello. This hand again is a little slow. I think we mulligan. This one's not as bad. We can draw some cards. Red source on top is good. Opponents is on gates. We'll see if they're on the normal or the Nexus variety. They have Gateway Plaza. I don't like that card as much in the back. It's slow enough as it is. So Mystic's good here. Just pass the turn. We want drawn to another land. So Shimmer of Possibilities. I think this does indicate it's more of the combo build. So we'll just Radical Idea here. Perfect. So this does open us up to Gates Ablaze. They have 3 gates, 4, so we do have a couple turns. So they have the summit there. Okay, so our turn here. I think we probably say we pay 2 life here. The reason being in case we draw into one of our counter spells. We'll just attack for 1 and pass the turn. So opponent draws another card here. The gate deck isn't going to necessarily. So here I'm actually going to consider. Okay, that's fine. We'll let it resolve. So opponent will draw some cards. So we've drawn all 4 of our radical ideas. So our turn here, we'll play the land out. We'll tack in. The nice thing with Murmuring Mystic is you don't really have to commit more to the board. So play light up the stage here. So we do have a quench, which isn't too bad. So we'll end the turn. So they have the Gate Colossus here, so that's fine. So they put that on top. So we are at 5 cards in our graveyard. So Gates Ablaze here. So we're going to Radical Idea. We want to try to find one of our counter spells. So we don't draw it there, so we'll just have it resolve. Unfortunately, wipes our board. And they play the Gate Colossus for nothing. Here I think we just wait. Actually, I'm going to put the Quench in the graveyard here just to get the Beacon Bolt up to more. We can Beacon Bolt and Lava Coil to exile the Gate Colossus so they don't get it back. Just give me a sec for the dog. So here we have 6 spells in the graveyard. So we will Beacon Bolt and then Lava Coil. And then we probably just want to use the Radical Idea. We could pretend like we have a Quench or something. So them just having the Colossus are bigger than what we can deal with. This deck, I think, it's missing just a couple cards from the other sets. Opt and Shock would go a long way just to deal those extra points of damage. I think they would benefit from there. Yeah, with the Crisis. We'll just concede this one here. So you get the general idea of the deck. I think it's an easy way to upgrade. You're using 8 common wild cards, just in place of like the Radical Idea and those cards. It'd make it a lot more consistent of just having those cheap reoccurring 1-drops. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any recommendations for the next guild you'd like to see. Thanks and have a good one.